One morning, there was lots of talk in the yards of the Farquhar. "Did you hear that Tom Tipper's van was ransacked last night?" Thomas told the others. "What? How?" cried Percy. "Apparently he was just delivering mail to the station last night like he always does, and when he returned, lots of his mail bags were stolen and his van's windows were shattered." "That's terrible! Who would think of doing something so horrible?" "Someone who was sick enough to steal other people's mail. What could they possibly want anyways?" wondered Toby. "Probably valuable things, but Tom only carries letters, not jewels or expensive goodies." Percy felt bad for Tom. He was still thinking about it when he took the mail. He tried to keep a good eye for any suspicious characters. Little did he know, when he had stopped it for Farquhar, someone who didn't belong was on the platform. The next morning, Percy's driver woke him up from a small rest he was having. "Wake up, Percy! I have startling news!" Percy was feeling drowsy and tired from the night train he had pulled. "Ugh, what's the matter?" "Some of the mailbags didn't arrive at their destination." Percy wasn't drowsy anymore. "What? But I'm sure of it! We made all of our stops and—" Then he remembered what the engines talked about yesterday. "Oh no, I think the thieves struck." Percy's driver shook his head. "You could be right. Bother!" Upon further inspection, it was determined that Percy was right about the thieves. Percy was upset for the rest of the day. He had to take some stone trucks to the quarry. Mavis couldn't help but notice how down Percy was. "You look under the weather, Percy. What's the matter?" "My mail train got ransacked last night." "Oh my goodness, that's terrible." "It's not only me. They attacked Tom and his van a few nights ago, too. I honestly feel too tired and nervous to pull the mail train now." "Tell you what, I'll take your mail train tonight. You probably just need some sleep to be able to think about it. After all, you are quite the night owl, and I don't think it helps that you are working in the day, too." "Really? Thank you! That will help!" Their drivers arranged it. Soon darkness fell upon Sodor. The moon shone bright as Mavis hurried along the roads. She made good time and was very quick at each stop. However, when they arrived at Callan Station, trouble seemed to be brewing. The station master and porters went into the stations to collect more mailbags, so Mavis was all alone. She seemed to feel that something wasn't right. She was right to assume, as suddenly she heard voices. "All right, you go into the first van, you go into the second van, and I'll go into third." "Got it! Quick, before they see us!" Suddenly, multiple men dressed in black rushed out onto the platform and hurried into the vans. Mavis was shocked. Then she remembered what Percy said. "Help! Thieves! Someone help!" she cried. Her driver quickly saw what was happening and blew her horn, which attracted the station master and porter's attention. "Oh no, we're busted! Run for it, lads! Stop them!" The station master and porters chased the men. Soon, one of the porters tackled one of the thieves to the ground. The others got away, but everyone focused on the one. "Let me go! You have it all wrong!" "I don't think so. Hold them still." He lured the guard. "Call the police!" And he quickly ran to the station and phoned them. "Come to Callan Station quickly! We've caught one of the mail thieves!" Soon the police arrived and took the man away. "Well done, Mavis," said her driver. Mavis was relieved. Because the police had caught one man, he was able to list off all the other mail thieves. Soon enough, they caught all of them, and they were severely punished. They also were able to recover all the missing mail. So Topham Hatt and Tom Tipper met with Mavis a few days later. "Thank you, Mavis. You've helped tremendously." "Yes, indeed. Well done, Mavis. Now, seeing that this has happened, would you like to board the mail train sometimes? Even without the thieves, you made quite a good run." "I would love to. It would give me some time out of the quarry." Now, Mavis helps out with delivering the mail on the branch lines of Sigrid. She She is happy whenever she does it, and she is happy that there are no more attempted robberies with the mail train. Barry is an engine who was saved from scrap by Sir Topham Hatt. He loves his new life on the Island of Sodor, working on pulling different trains along the main line. However, some of his jobs require him to go off the main line. His latest assignment was one of these. One morning, Barry was sent along Edward's branch line to help with a large shipment of China clay. Barry liked exploring. He was good friends with Edward and was excited to see what he was proud of. When he arrived at the docks, Barry saw Salty shunting some trucks. Excuse me, have you seen Edward?
Not since he left with the train, me hearty. He won't be back till midday. Say, you look new around here. What be your name?
I'm Barry. I'm here to help.
Nice to meet you, matey. I'm Salty, part of the dockside team. Ha 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 ha. Anyways, you look like you'd be looking for something too. What might that be?
I'm supposed to go to the China clay mines. Where are those?
That be down the junction just over there. But be on the lookout for those scallywags, Bill and Ben. They'll give you grief.
Thanks for the warning. See you around. And Barry puffed away to collect his first train. When he arrived, the mines were empty. Barry's train wasn't even assembled. Am I on time? I'm sure I am. So where's my train? Just then, he heard a whistle, and a bright yellow engine bumped up. Hello, who are you? Barry. I'm here to collect a train. It's supposed to leave around now. Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot to get it. I'll go get it now. Oh, by the way, I'm Bill. All right, thanks. Gosh, he seemed nice. Just then, another whistle was heard, and Bill came up again. Hello, Bill. Where's my train? Bill? I'm Ben. What's your name? I told you, my name is Barry. Ah, I see. Nice to meet you. You said you needed a train? Yes, and I'm on a schedule, so hurry up. All right, I'll get it. Thanks. Weird. I thought his name was... Another whistle came again, and Ben rolled up. Ben! Where's my train? You said you were going to get it. I'm not Ben. I'm Bill. I couldn't find a train meant for you anyways. Well, I'm on a schedule, and I hope you're bluffing, or I'll send you back to the scrapyard where I was found. Bill looked frightened and quickly hurried away. Okay, something is up. Barry thought about what was going on, but by the time he put two and two together, the twins rolled up on each side. Boo! Whoa, what? Huh? Got you! Alright, Bill, Ben, whoever you are, I'm not going to repeat myself. I am Barry, if you didn't catch that by now, and I am on a schedule, which isn't going to be ruined by you. Oh, you're no fun. No, Bill, look, he's red. Red engines aren't fun. Oh, I see. Alright, come on. Let's get trucks with Mr. No Fun. And the twins ran away laughing. Barry was cross. He arrived at the docks very late. Cranky was quick to criticize. You silly engines keep the boats waiting. You need to hurry up. It wasn't my fault. Just then, Edward arrived. Hello, Barry. You look worked up. Am I glad to see you? You probably know Bill and Ben. They have been monsters with me. They already tricked me once and said red engines aren't fun. What's gotten into them? A new and vulnerable engine has gotten into them. Don't worry, this isn't the first time this has happened. Yeah, I figured. But I want to get even. How do you think I could do that? Any engine figures out how to fool them. You'll get it. I might have an idea. Listen. Later on, Barry came back with a tanker filled with water. He had taken it on his first train to fill water for the water tower at the clay pits. Hey, Barry's back with the water. Thank goodness, I'm exhausted. Yes, fill to the brim with water for those little tanks of yours. Hey, we're not little. Yeah, we're just as strong as you. I see. Anyways, remember how you said it wasn't fun earlier? Well, I want to show you how to have fun. Listen, I'm going to hide this tanker, and you get to go find it. I'll go hide it while you shunt my train. Bill and Ben were excited. They quickly shunted Barry's train together. Barry was impressed. My, you're quick. Anyways, it's hidden now. Try to find it before I come back. Bill and Ben quickly scurried away. What they didn't know, however, was that Barry had shunted the tanker onto his new train. The twins were too busy to notice this, as it was behind the brake van, which was behind many trucks. Barry laughed along the journey. Bill and Ben were becoming frustrated. Where is it? I can't find it. You probably moved it. No, I didn't. Yeah, you're hiding it so you could show Barry when he returns. No, he didn't. Yes, you did. No, he didn't. Yes, you did. Just then, Barry returned with a tanker behind him. Looking for something? Bill and Ben were surprised. They soon realized they had been tricked. Am I still no fun? All right, Betty. You win. That was a pretty good one. They all laughed as the three became friends. Nancy is a guard's daughter. When she was young, she helped with cleaning and polishing the engines. She loved her job for many years, and the engines loved her too. However, Nancy grew older, and soon she had to go off and study. She had to go abroad to study, which meant she was very far from Sodor and the engines who loved her. The engines always asked Nancy's father about her whenever they met at the station. He always replied, "Not much, just the same." However, one day was more different than the rest. Skarloey was resting in a siding when Duncan rushed up. "Skarloey! Skarloey! You won't believe it!" "What is it, Duncan?" "Nancy's coming home. She said her first stop would be to see us." Skarloey whistled with joy. He thought his boiler would burst. "Hooray! I can't wait!" The next day, Skarloey was at the works. He was being checked over when a woman in a driver's suit came up. Skarloey found it hard to tell, but soon realized it was Nancy. "Nancy, good to see you. My, oh my, you have changed. Where have you been all this time?" "Well, as you know, I went overseas, and the reason was because I wanted to be a professional in cooking. But I found it boring, and I missed all of you. I'm going to start training to be a driver." Skarloey was very impressed. "That's amazing! I'm very glad you are happy, Nancy." "Thanks. This position is also big, as if I get the job, I'll be the first female employee to work on any of the Sodor railways. I'm beginning my trainee days as your driver." "Well, hop aboard. I can't wait to see your skills." So, after Skarloey was prepared, they were off. The journey was almost smooth. Sometimes Nancy pulled the brakes too hard, and bumped the deck. The coaches weren't too pleased. "It's absurd. This stupid driver should know how hard to pull the brakes." Skarloey was cross with the coaches. "Give Nancy a chance, will you? She's only learning." The coaches didn't seem to listen, but Skarloey reassured Nancy. "I'm afraid they're always like this. Don't let them worry you. I think you're doing a splendid job." "Thank you, Skarloey." Soon enough, the day was finished, and Nancy had finished her first day of training. Skarloey was impressed. "It seems you have lots of experience. Where did you learn it all?" "Before my dad became a station master, he was a driver, so he had quite a bit of experience. One time when he came down to visit me, he taught me all the basics of moving an engine. But in my free time, I was able to learn a lot more. I volunteered on a railway in France, and there I tested my skills on how to properly drive engines, and I've improved a lot since." "But wouldn't that Heritage Railway not have women drive their trains?" "I was the second man, which usually meant I helped while on the footplate. There, a nice man sometimes let me drive the locomotives along the line, and it was lovely. But your cab controls are different. so it was hard at first, but it was easy once I got to know which part was which.
That's amazing. You truly are outgoing, just like the little girl you once were.
Thank you, Skarloey. I have to get home now. I'm having dinner with Dad for the first time in a while.
And she left. Skarloey smiled. The Nancy he once knew had now become older. Over the next few weeks, Nancy drove multiple engines about. Sometimes she drove Duncan, other times she drove Rheneas, and she even learned how to drive a diesel engine with Rusty. Over time, she became better and better, and was mastering the skill. One day, as Skarloey was at the station, Nancy was called into the station master's office, as an important phone call had come in for her. She ran out excitedly.
Skarloey, Skarloey! I've gotten the job! I'm now a railway driver for your railway! I'm officially the first female driver on Sodor. I can't believe it!
Skarloey whistled in delight. Congratulations, Nancy! But which engine will you be driving full-time?
This might come as no surprise, but you! You really are the one I wanted to drive, you know.
Skarloey was excited. Soon enough, Skarloey and Nancy began the new job together, and they made a great team. Nancy enjoyed it very much. One day, Skarloey was slower than usual. Nancy couldn't see anything wrong until she saw something when she leaned out of the cab.
Oh dear, looks like there is a steam leak in your boiler. It's dangerous to continue, so I'll stop the train and quickly patch it up.
So, Skarloey's train came to a halt. Nancy got out and quickly found a patch she could use for the rest of the journey.
We'll have to call another engine once we reach the top station. I don't think...
What's the holdup?
Interrupted the passengers.
We haven't got all day. At this time, we'll be late.
Sorry, everyone, but our engine has a steam leak, and I'm currently patching it up.
Oh, of course, it's a woman driving the train. No wonder she doesn't know how to work it. Anyone here a proper train driver?
Sir, I'll have you know I'm a professional at my job.
Job? Job? Ha ha ha! You're hilarious. Women can't have jobs, especially on the railway.
Skarloey couldn't believe what he had heard.
Will you shut it? Nancy does as good of a job as a man would do. You don't need to discriminate. The other passengers agreed and started complaining to the passenger. The passenger, feeling defeated, sheepishly got back into the coach. Soon, Skarloey's steam leak had been fixed, and he was on his way. When they got to the station, Nancy came out to see him.
Thank you, Skarloey. That was kind of you to stand up for me.
No worries, but it's what friends do. Nancy laughed, and Skarloey followed suit. Because of Nancy, she had inspired multiple other women to become drivers, guards, and other workers on the Sodor railways. Nancy is always proud, and she is most proud to be Skarloey's driver.
Billy is a hard-working engine on Sir Topham Hatt's railway. He works in the Peel Godward branch line hauling trucks and coaches. At first, he had quite a rough beginning at the start, and the engine's teased him about his two big teeth. But they still learned that Billy is really useful. One day, Billy was waiting at the station, waiting for Henry to come in with some trucks. "Where are these trucks from?" he asked.
Kirk Ronan, replied Henry. I got them from Charlie.
Charlie? Who's Charlie?
You don't know Charlie?
No, doesn't ring a bell.
How don't you? Charlie is literally one of your brothers.
What do you mean?
Charlie is an engine from your class, except he's purple. I don't remember asking him about you, or ever mentioning you. Tell you what, I'll ask him about you next time I see him.
All right, let me know how it goes. Later that day, Henry was waiting at Tidmouth when Charlie steamed in beside him. Hello, Henry. Glad to see you again.
Same to you. Oh, I just remembered. Do you know an engine named Billy?
No? Why?
You don't know about Billy? Goodness, I've heard of engines not knowing their siblings, but this is outrageous. Billy works on the Peel-Godred branch line. You literally live on the same island. Surely you had to know that. Oh, I didn't even know one of them worked on Sodor. What does he look like? He's orange and has 2 big buck teeth. Still don't know him. Well, one of these days you have to meet each other. Quite right. At last the guard's whistle blew, and Charlie was on his way. Charlie had a different personality than Billy. He was also a mixed traffic engine and worked on the Kirk Rona branch line. He was quite the studious engine and knew how to tell a joke once in a while. Soon enough, Henry's wish for the 2 meeting would come true. Dennis had to go to the works to get his engine fixed. This put the Peel-Godred engine short. Sir Topham Hatt was deciding who to send down. Henry overheard this conversation and spoke up. Sir, what about Charlie? Why do you ask that? Asked Sir Topham Hatt. He's, a very hard-working engine, replied Henry, trying not to sound suspicious. You are right about that. I think I'll go ahead and use him. Henry beamed. Finally, he could see the 2 brothers meeting each other. Billy was excited to meet Charlie, and got even more excited when he heard an unfamiliar whistle. There was Charlie, puffing into the station, and when he did, both engines almost dropped their fires in shock.
Charles? William? I can't believe it. I can't believe you actually work on Sodor.
Me neither. How have you been, William?
I've been good. I've definitely matured since the last time you saw me. Seems you have done the same.
Oh, yes, we were quite silly. I remember the name Fieldish William still.
Yes, I remember Cheeky Charles. Anyways, we can catch up more on the journey. We need to take this goods train up to Peel-Godred.
Sounds good to me. And so, the 2 engines began the double-header. As they hopped along the line, the 2 reminisced on good times, and they laughed and laughed at some of the silly stories they told. Soon enough, Charlie knew the line well enough to be able to pull trains by himself. With his help, the Peel-Godred was able to succeed without Dennis. Around the time Charlie was expected to leave, Henry arrived with a goods train. He saw Billy and Charlie about to double-head another goods train, and he remembered about the individual conversations he had had with each engine. Hello, you 2. How's it going?
Henry, you won't believe it. We actually did know each other.
Henry's smile widened. I knew it! But how?
Well, our nicknames are Billy and Charlie, which we didn't know, but our real names are William and Charles, which we knew all along.
Henry was surprised. You mean Billy and Charlie aren't your names?
Yep.
Fascinating, isn't it? Agreed. Just then the guard's whistle blew.
Come on, Charles. That's our signal to go.
Right behind you, William. See you later, Henry.
Yes, and thank you for letting us know each other.
The 2 engines laughed, and so did Henry. He was very happy for the 2 brothers. If you were to travel along the Little Western, past beaches and towns, you would wound up at the Arlesdale Railway, home to the smallest engines on Sodor. The engines on the line consist of Mike, a hot-tempered red engine, Rex, a smart and chatty green engine, Bert, a hard-working engine, and Frank, a trackside maintenance diesel. The 4 engines work together to take passenger trains and ballast trains along the river line. However, sometimes the work was too much for them, and they seemed to always be needing help. The controller, Mr. Duncan, had been watching the situation and had bought a new engine to help out. He arrived one morning to tell the engines the news. Good news, gentlemen. I have got a new engine to help with your work. Their name is Sigrid, and they should be expected now. Alongside came a 2-toned blue diesel. They had a cheerful smile as they rolled in. Hello, you 4. I am super glad to meet you. Hello.
Good to meet you. Welcome to our railway.
Oh, finally, another diesel, just what we needed for this line. Hallelujah!
Hello.
Now, Sigrid, I want you to do the ballast runs. It would benefit these engines a ton. Ballast? But, sir, I'm a passenger engine. I don't do ballast runs. That starts today. Now get a move on. Sigrid decided not to argue further and collected her train. As the new diesel rolled along the line, Sigrid thought about her silly train. Maybe if I go a little faster, it won't be so bad. So Sigrid began to speed up. They arrived at the mines early. The workmen were surprised. We weren't expecting you this early. I guess I am just that good then. Sigrid decided to put the plan even further into action.
Could you please work quickly? There's a large section of track that needs to be filled in, and it's for the standard gauge engines. It's very important.
Not to worry, we'll help you out. The workmen worked fast and got the train ready in a record amount of time. Sigrid then backed down onto the train and hurried back faster than ever before. The train arrived very early to the station. So early, the trucks on the standard gauge line hadn't been prepared. Mr. Duncan was very pleased. Wow, I'm very impressed, Sigrid. If this keeps up, then I can trust you on passenger trains.
Oh, thank you, sir.
For the next few days, Sigrid raced back to the mines where the workmen loaded the cars. Each time there was a new excuse, but all Sigrid cared about was pulling passenger trains. This made the little diesel very careless. One day, the load was larger than usual. Careful, cautioned a workman. This load weighs more than usual. I suggest not going the speed you were going when you came in.
Yes, of course.
And the diesel engine rolled away. Sigrid had to slow down at a signal labeled danger. But even though Sigrid's brakes came on, the heavy train made them go past the signal and onto the open line.
Oh no, help!
The emergency brakes came on, but it still didn't make any difference against the heavy cars. Sigrid raced on the line and frightened Frank and the workmen.
Slow down!
Cried Frank.
The tracks aren't set for you!
The tracks indeed weren't set. The points had been set to go to the ballast chute. Engines need to go behind the freight cars, so there was enough room for the ballast cars. Sigrid was in front of the cars and was in danger. Sigrid swapped onto the line and braced herself. Sigrid sat in a train meant for Donald, just below the chute. Soon Douglas arrived with a breakdown train to put them on the rails again. Mr. Duncan wasn't too pleased. I understand why you couldn't stop, Sigrid. What I do not understand is that you lied to the workers at the mines about all these different things. What do you have to say? Sigrid told them everything. Needless to say, Mr. Duncan decided, you won't be pulling passengers now. When you are back from checking over, you will be strictly on ballast duties until I see actual improvement. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Sigrid worked harder than ever, and soon enough, Mr. Duncan trusted Sigrid to pull passenger trains. Sigrid now knows not to tell lies to make work faster, as the work is important, and that she must work even if she isn't pulling passengers. Donald and Douglas are Scottish twin engines. They work together on the main line, pulling goods trains, and help out on the Little Western when needed. However, Donald and Douglas aren't the only twin engines on the island. There's also Bill and Ben, who work at the mines and quarries on the island. They mainly work at the China clay pits on Edward's branch line, hauling loads to the docks. Sometimes, however, the twins can't leave the clay pits, as there is so much to organize, which leads to clogged sidings. Derek would usually help when this was the case, but his cooling system was being checked over, so Sir Topham Hatt called for Donald and Douglas to move the trucks to the docks. The twins had been to Edward's branch line before, but had never been to the clay pits. When they arrived, it was in quite a state.
Knapford Harbour looks tidier than this. Aye, what engines would leave a mine looking like this? Whoa! Whoa! Got you! Are you the engines who run this place? Asked Donald. Yes, I'm Bill, and I'm Ben. You should be ashamed of yourselves, scolded Douglas. Look at the state of this place. That's what you're here for. Aren't you late? The yard could have been clean if you arrived earlier.
The Scottish twins were not in the mood for games. Oh, just get our train. And so they did, and soon Don and Douglas began to pull the train away. They arrived at Brendam Docks, and were late as expected.
You engines need to stop holding these ships up, criticized Cranky. It's ridiculous.
Stop your complaining, will ya? Said Salty. The ship doesn't leave for hours. I'm sorry, you two. He's in another foul mood today.
We can relate. Aye, but he's always cranky. Aye, but we are still cranky ourselves. I'm not cranky. R2 are not. R2 are not.
Settle down, you two, said Edward in a civilized manner. But you do look cross over something. What is it?
It's those twins at the clay pits. Aye, engines might think we're bad because we're twins, but they're much worse.
Yes, they are devils at times, but I can assure you they are quite useful. And I'd like to see it myself. Our first impression doesn't make it seem likely to happen. And the twins hopped away to collect their next train. The twins had to stay for quite some time, which meant Bill and Ben could play more tricks on them.
Hey, Donald, look out!
You little rascal!
Got you! Little piggy in the middle!
By the end of the day, Donald and Douglas had enough of the twins and were glad to pull their final train to the docks. The next morning, Donald and Douglas were pulling a train of China clay to the Knapford Harbour. A ship had been redirected to the other side of the island, but it still needed the China clay, so the Scottish twins hurried down the line. However, as they puffed along, something felt terribly wrong inside Donald. With a loud bang, Donald's driver quickly whistled to Douglas's crew to stop the train. Donald's crew inspected.
Well, your safety valve is broken, explained his driver. We'll have to go call for help.
Back at the clay pits, Bill and Ben were working tidying the yard when a workman came up to them. Donald is broken down, and Douglas needs help to reach the harbor. Could you help, twins?
Why should we help? They've been yelling at us to clean the yards.
Not from what I've seen. You two have been causing havoc for them. Maybe this can change their thoughts on you. Bill and Ben agreed with that and hurried to find the twins. When they arrived, the Scottish twins laughed.
Look, Dougie, they expect these bees to pull us. You don't leave the sides of them. You probably barely pull us at Edward Station.
Bill and Ben wanted to reply, but said nothing and went to back down. Soon the guard whistled, and Bill and Ben pulled as hard as they could. Douglas prepared to push, but he wasn't prepared for how hard Bill and Ben were working. He was taken aback by how hard they pulled.
My oh my!
Bill and Ben had done it. The train was quite slow, but all the engines reached the harbor just before the ship left. Then the China Clay twins puffed alongside the Scottish twins. They were quite tired out. "We're sorry for being rude back there," said Donald.
"Aye," agreed Douglas.
"You did a splendid job of getting us here."
"Thank you,"
replied Bill.
"Yes, thank you. And we're sorry for being so rude,"
added Ben.
"Yeah, that too."
"Aye, we can forgive you." Since then, both twins have become allies. They like to help each other whenever they can. After all, one pair will always help another.